Please be seated.
It's like a storm that cuts a path. It breaks your will. It feels like that. You think you're lost, but you're not lost on your own. You're not alone. I will stand by you. I will help you through when you've done all you can do and you can't cope. I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. I will hold you tight, and I won't let go. It hurts my heart to see you cry. I know it's dark, this part of life. Oh, it finds us all, and we're too small to stop the rain. Oh, but when it rains, I will stand by you. I will help you through when you've done all you can do and you can't cope. I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. I will hold you tight, and I won't let you fall. Don't be afraid to fall. I'm right here to catch you. Won't let you down. It won't let you down. You're gonna make it. Oh, I know you can make it. I will stand by you. I will help you through when you've done all you can do and you can't cope. I will dry your eyes. I will fight your fight. I will hold you tight, and I won't let go. Oh, I'm gonna hold you, and I won't let go. Won't let you go.
Good morning. On behalf of the Zirkle family, the Falzon family, and the Marin County Sheriff's Office, I want to welcome you and thank you all for being here today as we celebrate the life of Ryan Zirkle. At this time, I'd like to have Marin County Sheriff's Chaplain Sandy Walker come to the podium.
Thank you all for being here this morning. There is no greater pain than the loss of those we love. This is a time when we need to come together. And so today we celebrate the life of Deputy Ryan Zirkle, one of our own. Our hearts go out to his parents, Brad and Mary Kay, his brothers Sean and Justin, and his beloved fiancée, Stephanie. We unite not only in our grief, but in our support of Ryan's family. Thank you to our law enforcement, fire, and first responder families. Your presence means so much. Ryan was dedicated to serving our community, just as you all are. He left us all too soon at the young age of 24, almost 25. He was responding to a 911 call in the dark of the night in West Marin on a wet and winding road that took his life. Yes, we are eternally indebted to our first responders who answer our call to come to our aid, even as they sacrifice their own lives that we remain safe. Scripture says, no one has greater love than this, that someone laid down their life for his friends. That was Ryan responding to our call. Ryan excelled at everything he did, whether it was football, baseball, basketball, or even gymnastics. Not only was he a great athlete at San Marin, but he coached and encouraged others along the way. He always had a positive, happy attitude and a smile that would warm your heart. Kids loved him at camp. He was hilariously funny and made life more full and fun for all those around him. I've heard some amazing stories. There was the peacock dance that he would do. Hopefully, some of his close friends today that are speaking can demonstrate for you. Then there were the geese at the academy in the courtyard. Ryan was so fast, he ran ahead of everyone, and the geese took off. Now, scaring the geese meant big trouble for the entire class. Life was always fun around Ryan. In defensive tactics, when he was put to the ground, he would do a complete flip back up to standing, sometimes followed by a pirouette, always singing, and of course, dancing. Videos of him dancing are something to behold. Really fantastic. What a happy guy, bringing it with him everywhere he went. Ryan's love of his life, of course, was Stephanie. What a perfect match. They both enjoyed life and each other to the fullest. So many trips to the cabin in Tahoe, fun times in New York, loving the Giants and Warriors, great parties with friends, their amazing Labradoodle Dexter, and their new home in Petaluma. The good book says, when two or more gather in my name, there am I with them. Just think of the power in this room when hundreds of us unite in prayer for Ryan and his family. As we go forth today, let's live our lives to the fullest in honor of Ryan. Please pray with me. Dear Lord, we know that you stand behind us as we go forth through these difficult and tragic times. You did not cause them, but are there to lift us up with your grace and comfort. May you, Lord, take our hand with your promise of eternal life. Watch over us this day and all days. Give us the strength to accept what is past, to appreciate what is present, and to look forward to good in our future. Grant us peace, sacred moments with you, Lord, and faith in whatever most expresses as our deepest inner truth. Bless us and heal us. Breathe peace and grace into our lives. Amen. The gift that Ryan has given us is to focus on the great goodness of life. May we remember his positive, happy attitude and use his memory for encouragement for us to thrive. We thank you, Ryan, for being you. Be there for us when you can. And we look forward to the time when you will be reunited with us once again. Stay happy. We will make it through this hard time. And as always, you will carry on with your winning spirit. Our love is with you, Ryan. Fly high, fly far, fly fast. May God bless you always. Spirit in the sky.
At this time, I would invite Marin County Sheriff Robert Doyle to the stage.
Good morning. I also would like to thank everyone for attending today to support Ryan's family and the Marin County Sheriff's Office. And I'd also like to thank California's Attorney General Becerra and our State Senator Mike McGuire for attending. To Ryan's family, to his mother Kay, his father Brad, his brothers Justin and Sean, and his fiancée Stephanie, the Marin County Sheriff's Office offers their deepest prayers and sympathy and condolences to the family. We know this is not the way it was supposed to be. Ryan was supposed to be the future of our organization, not the past. These past 9 days, I've always been proud to have a place in law enforcement, and watching the men and women of our organization, cope with this tragedy. I've been so proud of how they've come together and how they've rallied around each other, and quickly having to switch from grieving and mourning Ryan's loss to planning today's service to honor him in a professional, respectful way. As you can imagine, the public support has been overwhelming. Our social media platforms have been working overtime with well wishes from people all over the United States and actually in Europe. I've received literally hundreds of cards and letters and emails from law enforcement, not only in California, but law enforcement across the United States and actually in foreign countries. As you can imagine, as an organization, this has been very difficult, and our partners in law enforcement in Marin County have been fantastic in supporting us and being there when we need them, as have the law enforcement agencies in Sonoma County. Recently, I was talking to a friend, and he was issuing his condolences and to the family and the organization. And he said, Bob, you, in public safety, you guys have a deep bench. And I thought I knew what he meant, but I said, what do you mean by that, Roger? And he said, well, what you guys do is calling. With the men and women, it's calling. And there's a bond, and everyone knows when something happens in one organization, it's either already happened in theirs or it could happen somewhere else. So there's this strong bond that you're there to support each other, which is so very true. And that was evidenced by the first several hours of this tragedy, the support that we got when the Undersheriff Mike Ridgway and I got to Petaluma Valley Hospital and were told that Ryan hadn't survived. The rescue helicopter crew was still there, and they were obviously distraught and apologized for not being able to do more. And Petaluma Police Sergeant Rick Cox was at the hospital and said, I'll be here for as long as you need us. And shortly thereafter, Robert Mota, the California Highway Patrol Commander of Marin, showed up to offer his support. When we learned that the family wasn't going to come to the hospital, we started to put together a plan to honor Ryan so he didn't go to the Sonoma County Coroner's Office alone. So all of the deputies and staff that had been working that evening, and those that actually had been on the scene, were brought up to the Petaluma Valley Hospital so we could caravan up to Santa Rosa. And while we were forming, all of a sudden, 10 or 15 California Highway Patrol officers appeared. Probably half the Department of Petaluma Police Department showed up, and more sheriff deputies from Sonoma County. And while we caravaned that short distance, and now this is 3:30 in the morning, every overpass from Petaluma to Santa Rosa had police and fire vehicles with their lights on, honoring Ryan as we passed by. And later that day, when we went back to Sonoma, the coroner's office, to return Ryan to the county, and we traveled from Santa Rosa to San Anselmo, every overpass had police and fire units, police and firemen standing in the rain saluting, cars pulling off the side of the road, little kids on their dad's shoulders saluting the caravan as it passed by. And when we got to San Anselmo, it was pouring down rain, and the Central Marin Police Department in Fairfax were all standing in the rain honoring Ryan. Long before I met Ryan, I've probably never been lobbied so hard to hire a deputy in the time that I've been in the sheriff's office. I got calls, and every time it seemed like I went someplace, there was somebody there to tell me what a great young man Ryan was, and he born and raised in Novato, homegrown, wants to serve his community. And one of those lobbying efforts was Stephanie Falzone's father, Dan, who I've known for a very, very long time. And Dan is one of the gracious, polite males that I know. And so Danny, for 5 minutes, prefaced the conversation by, I don't want to bug you, I don't want to tell you what to do, I know I'm biased, but you got to hire this young man. And at the time, he was dating his daughter. And I said, well, Danny, that's already handled. And so the first time I met Ryan after he was hired, it was real clear to me that he was a perfect fit, for the organization, because he seemed to have common sense of humor, compassion, which is an important trait. And last week I had the opportunity. I've known the Falzone family for over 40 years, and I visited with Stephanie's grandfather, Frank, who considered Ryan, part of his family. If you talk to anybody in our organization and people that work with Ryan, they'll tell you that he was enthusiastic, always had a smile on his face, was sort of always the life of the party. One of our training managers, Bill Hernandez, who sort of supervises the recruits in the police academy, told me that his nickname was Captain America because of his athleticism, and he seemed to always have a smile on his face and happy. And what exemplifies Ryan's compassion is last night I received an email from a resident in Point Reyes. And so she wrote, she said, I'm writing to you because I'm not sure who else to tell. I live in Point Reyes, and a couple weeks before Ryan died, I had an interaction with him that will stay with me forever. I'm disabled, multiple sclerosis, and use crutches to get around. I was heading past the sheriff's office in town to take an early walk in the wetlands when I fell. I was glad it was early and no one saw me. Then I heard Ryan say, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" I assured him I was okay and stumbled along for my walk. Ryan said that he needed to stretch his legs and asked if he could join me. We did a walk with my dog around the old barn, and talked about what a beautiful morning it was and how nice it was working in a town where the number of wallets turned in exceeds the number stolen, which is true, and about the crazy paths that lives take. I'm sure Ryan was tired and loads of paperwork or was on his way home, but he wanted to make sure I was okay when he saw he couldn't persuade me not to walk anymore. It was such a kind gesture. I was crushed when I heard an officer had died that morning. I live on Highway 1, and I heard the sirens go by. I never dreamed it would be my deputy. I think Ryan was a little younger than my son when he died. He was a good, generous man, and that one gesture really moved me. Please pass this note along to the family. I'm sure they have lots of wonderful memories of him, but it never hurts to have one more. Ryan will always be part of our law enforcement family. He'll always be in our thoughts and prayers. And I'll leave you with Winston Churchill once said that you make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give. And Ryan gave to his community. Thank you.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly. If birds fly over the rainbow, why, Lena, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Our next speaker will be Mr. Dan Falzon.
Thank you all for being here today to honor the memory of this wonderful young man. My name is Dan Falzon. I am the father of Ryan's beloved Stephanie Falzon, my oldest daughter. Our hearts are broken, and we grieve with all of you. An entire community weeps at this loss. Ryan and Stephanie were the pillars of our family. They embodied all things good on this earth: pure happiness, joy, and unconditional love for one another. As Stephanie said to me shortly after Ryan's passing, "Dad, we were so happy. We had the perfect life." Ryan and Stephanie's love story goes back to Sinaloa Middle School in Novato. As you've heard, Ryan was always the star athlete, propped up by the coaches as an example to the other kids on how to do a push-up, how to make a tackle, how to shoot a basketball, throw, catch, or hit a baseball. We've all known such kids in our lives, and we've tried to be like them. Ryan Zirkle was that kid. Stephanie at first found Ryan to be annoying, that all the coaches knew and loved Ryan. It was Ryan this, Ryan that. Stephanie would roll her eyes. Stephanie was the kid, along with her girlfriend Emma Smith, who would disappear on the class run and attempt to duck out and then reappear on the final lap as if they had been there the entire time. But somehow, Ryan and Stephanie, these two athletic misfits, they connected and became dear friends. My wife Cynthia recalled the very first time that she saw Ryan, just a young man, or just a young boy. He came to our house to swim along with his lifelong pal Sean Hickey. Cynthia said to me, "My God, those are the cutest boys I've ever seen." Ryan and Stephanie's relationship began to blossom. Something about a young boy seeing a pretty girl in a bathing suit, that can really stick with a kid. Next came the school dances, the socials. All these kids bonded together through middle school, high school, and on into college, and they remain the tightest of friends today. This was a very special group of young people. Ryan was the starting quarterback on the San Marin High School football team, the starting point guard and starting shortstop on the championship high school basketball and baseball teams. Not a big kid, but through gymnastics as a boy, Ryan turned himself into a superior physical athlete, very strong, very, very tough, and with the heart, competitiveness, and tenacity of a champion. But in addition to his athletic grit, Ryan always had that engaging smile and kindness, always happy and with a sense of humor second to none, the life of the party. Ryan was a people magnet. Ryan Zirkle was that natural leader that just made everyone around him better. And whatever the task, in some form or fashion, Ryan always made sure it was going to be fun or it just wasn't worth doing. Everyone loved Ryan Zirkle, and I mean everyone. Ryan Zirkle was a gift from his parents, Brad and Mary Kay, to the entire community, to every one of us, but most selfishly, to the Falzon family, and most especially to my daughter, Stephanie. We all loved him so very, very much. He was a seamless addition to our family. At every family function and party, if Ryan and Stephanie had not yet arrived, they were always the talk. When are Ryan and Stephanie getting here? From high school, Ryan and Stephanie went on to attend Chico State University together, where Ryan also played college baseball at nearby Butte. After graduating from college, Stephanie accepted an event planner's position with the Hyatt Regency in downtown Sacramento, while Ryan temporarily remained in Novato to save money so he could begin building his and Stephanie's permanent lives together. But a short distance couldn't hold these two back. They spoke daily, and Ryan would travel to see Stephanie at every opportunity. It was at this time that Ryan accepted an appointment as a Marin County Deputy Sheriff. Ryan relished the idea of being able to serve the same community that he had grown up in. What did Ryan do at the academy? What would you expect? He excelled. Ryan graduated at the top of his academy class, and as Sheriff Doyle stated, his classmates named him Captain America. We were also very proud of Ryan. To be in attendance the day of his graduation from the academy, I felt I was there as if this was my very own son. My heart soared for Ryan and Stephanie. She was so very proud of him, and Ryan was so very happy. Another great day in the life of the accomplished Ryan Zirkle. Ryan was perfect for law enforcement. He cared deeply for people, he had empathy and humor, and he loved getting the bad guy. After graduating from the academy, Ryan and Stephanie found an apartment in Berkeley where for the first time they actually lived together. Me being the old-fashioned dad, I bit my lip. But out of love and respect for Ryan and my daughter, I kept my mouth shut. Not that anyone would have listened to me anyway. 8 months later, they purchased their first home together in Petaluma. Another joyous occasion for the Zirkle and Falzon families. Ryan's brother Sean and wife Kate then bought a house around the corner, so 2 of the 3 brothers could be near one another and continue to support and enjoy one another's company. The dream continued. In the span of a few short months, with the constant help of Ryan's dad, Brad, working side by side with his son, Stephanie and Ryan had their home entirely remodeled. They loved picking paint colors, furnishings, and doing everything down to the smallest of details. Stephanie and Ryan soon announced a new addition to their family, a small puppy named Dexter. Dexter is now 7 months later, Dexter has grown into pretty much the biggest dog I have ever seen. I'm convinced that somewhere along the lines, Dexter was crossbred with a horse. I did not know that could be done. I said to Ryan at the time, Ryan, I never thought my first grandchild was going to be a horse named Dexter. Typical Ryan, he winked and smiled at me. Ryan and Stephanie loved Dexter, and Ryan held Dexter from the time he was a puppy, cradling him in his arms like a baby. Even when Dexter got to be over 75 pounds, Dexter would still let Ryan cradle him. Dexter the horse is currently at my house, and we love him. Ryan's gift to me, a horse. Thank you, Ryan. In all seriousness, we love Dexter, and his antics and personality will help in our healing, as Dexter most certainly was Ryan's baby. 7 years ago, when I retired from the FBI, Ryan was in attendance at my celebration. There he was at Stephanie's side, as he always was. I commented to the attendees regarding each of my family members and expressed my thanks to each of them, to include commenting on Ryan. I remember like it was yesterday, telling the attendees about this special young man and how much I cared for him, saying, I think I like him even more than my daughter does. Again, Stephanie rolled her eyes. As much as I loved Ryan, nothing could be further from the truth. Stephanie adored him, and he adored her. To know the depths of Ryan and Stephanie's love for one another, just ask anyone who knew them. One of Ryan's friends shared their vision of Ryan's first day in heaven. First, he was greeted by his adoring grandparents, only to soon be met up with his dear friend and former high school basketball coach, Craig Pitty, who also passed far too soon just 5 short months ago, where they were again cheering on their favorite teams in the NCAA college basketball tournament, then followed with a round of golf and capping off the day with a cold beer, as they did together with their friends every year. I learned just this week of an incident that occurred during one of those annual college basketball tournament gatherings up in Tahoe. Ryan was with his pals, and as the story goes, after a night of celebrating, they returned to their hotel room only to find that they had forgotten their room key. Well, what do young men do when they've indulged in a little too much happy juice and find that they've been locked out of their room? Call the front desk for assistance. No. Just break the door down. Soon they were met by local law enforcement with guns drawn. I'm not sure if Sheriff Doyle has ever heard this story before. After some initially tense moments, followed with some embarrassing explanations, I'm told the damage was ultimately fully paid for and the hotel owner opted not to prefer charges. I'd like to share with you a beautiful passage my daughter Stephanie posted about Ryan just one day after learning of his passing. It reads as follows. To the best guy I ever knew, thank you for the smiles and the laughter you brought to everyone around you. I was lucky enough to be by your side since we were kids, loving every minute of it. The world was a better place with you in it, and we are all truly better people for having known you. You taught me not to take life too seriously and to live in the moment. I am so proud of the man you were and feel so blessed for our time together. We will all miss your love for life, ability to always make a room laugh, and those crazy dance moves. I will miss sharing my life with you, but take comfort in knowing that we all have someone special watching over us now. Thank you for loving me the way that you did and for allowing me to take the journey of life with you. I miss you every day, and I love you so much. I thank my daughter Stephanie for asking me to speak to you on behalf of the Falzon family today and to share with you just a small expression of our family's love for this young man and for the entire Zirkle family. I am honored and I am blessed to have been a part of Ryan's life. A friend of mine shared something with me this week that I hope helps somewhat when trying to process this. Don't cry because it's over, but smile because it happened. We all love you, Ryan, truly more than any words could ever adequately express. Through each of us trying to be a little bit more like Ryan Zirkle, we truly can make our world a better place. A little more laughter, a little more levity, and a lot more love. That's what Ryan did for us every day, and he didn't even know it. That was just Ryan being Ryan, leaving behind an eternal footprint, larger than life, a hero, an angel. God bless you, Ryan. I take some solace in knowing that you knew how much we all loved you, and I draw strength from that. Your time with us on this earth was cut far too short, but until that day when we are all again reunited in God's kingdom, my love and thanks to you for that which you gave selflessly to all of us, and for the gift of love you gave to our beloved Stephanie. We will never forget you, Ryan, and we will forever keep you in our hearts.
I would now like to welcome Sean Hickey and Chris Glennon to the podium.
When I was attending Butte with Ryan, we had a public speaking course together. He used to take great joy in watching me struggle in front of 20 to 30 college-age kids, so I'm sure he's getting a pretty good kick out of this right now. My name is Sean Hickey. and I had the honor, along with these men on the stage behind me, of growing up with Ryan Zirkle. When I first began thinking about what I was going to say here today, my mind was flooded with stories, memories, and things I wanted to say about Ryan, like how he really set the bar for our group of friends. He was the first one of us to have bought a car, first one of us to have bought a house and a puppy, and the first one of us to get a tattoo, covered up. I also thought about sharing how he kept us entertained every day and how his only goal in life was seemingly to make everyone around him happy, even if that meant screaming until it looked like his freckles were going to pop. Then, out of nowhere, I got some inspiration. At a baseball game where I was coaching, I saw a young kid who attended the camp where Ryan and I worked for many summers. I said hello to him and saw he was with his baseball team. These kids were about 10 years old, watching a varsity baseball game with their team, enjoying every pitch. I couldn't help but think, this was us. I also couldn't help but think, I hope this group of kids has their own Ryan Zirkle. And I hope this for so many reasons. First of all, it would mean that they have the best shortstop and leadoff hitter around. But more importantly, it would mean that they have someone that will make them laugh uncontrollably, dance, whether it's an inappropriate time or not, be their beam of light when times are dark, and have someone who will be there whenever they need somebody to talk to. They will have a person who lives life the way it was meant to be lived, full of love, laughter, and genuine kindness. That's who Ryan Zirkle was to us. That's who Ryan Zirkle was to everyone he came in contact with in this short yet powerful life. There will never be another Ryan Zirkle, but we can keep him with us by smiling and laughing every day, dancing whether it's an appropriate time or not, and never taking ourselves too seriously. That's what he taught us, and that's what he would want. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Chris Glennon. First met Ryan in kindergarten at San Ramon in Novato during the fall of 1998, and he's unquestionably been my best friend ever since. Can't claim to know Ryan longer than anyone on the stage though, as that honor goes to Sean, who was friends with him during their preschool years at All Saints. We still remember and still laugh about fighting over who got to be friends with Zirk when Sean transferred to San Ramon in first grade. After a few years on the playground, a bunch of Little League victories for Ryan and I's Marlins over Sean's Cardinals, we became what we will always call the three best friends that anybody could have. Once we joined forces with the other guys behind me, Dominic Coyne and Kevin Kogarev, who went to a different elementary school, and Ryan Burke, who was a year younger than us, a group of friends was formed that in my wildest dreams, I'm not sure I could have hoped for. Zirk was the core of that. I think my favorite thing about Zirk is he had this unbelievable ability to be both the most mature, grown-up person in the room while still being the carefree Zirk we all know and love. Whenever I needed someone to talk to about something serious, he was my go-to guy. If we ever needed a laugh or someone to brighten the mood, it was Zirk who's our comedian, and he was the best at both of those things. I think the best example of this was actually when he broke his leg in basketball during our junior year at Marin. It was a bad enough injury that the fire department came to stretcher him out of the gym, and there we were, huddled up in the corner, concerned about watching our friend writhe in pain, and as he went by us on the stretcher, all he cared about was getting a laugh out of us. I'll never forget the ridiculous face he made at our team, perhaps fueled by the morphine he had flowing through his body, but he made us all smile and later told us what a rise he got out of seeing our frowns turn into laughter. Such a pure motivation for someone to have. All he wanted was to see us happy, even in the immediate aftermath of that injury. When someone you love is suddenly taken away, it shines light on what really matters in life. And Ryan knew what really mattered in life. He went through life working hard, laughing whenever possible, and most importantly, he was always himself. And I am so thankful he was always himself because Ryan Zirkle is the absolute best. My time with Ryan is without a doubt my most prized possession. We've often heard the saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. But I think what's made losing Zirk so hard for me, for these guys up here, and probably for many of us in this room, is we knew how special having him in our lives was. Ryan is my shortstop, my point guard, my brother, and my best friend, and that will never change. Thank you.
Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and think of you turning in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback to warm nights almost left behind. Suitcase of memories, time after. Sometimes you picture me, I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me, I can't hear what you've said. You say, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. Time after time. After your picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows, I'm wondering if you're okay. Then you say, go slow, I fall behind. The drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you, I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Ooh. Time after time. Ooh. Time after time. Time after time.
Speaking next will be Colton Hicks and Robbie Byers.
Hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know us, my name is Colton, this is Robbie, and we were both lucky enough to be Ryan's roommates through college and shared some pretty incredible moments with him. We're going to share with you some of our favorite memories today. So I was fortunate enough to have Ryan as roommate for all 4 years of college, as well as one of my very best friends for the past 7. We met on a Facebook group for incoming freshmen at CSU Chico. We were still seniors in high school, and we were, rather than being paired with somebody random, I thought it'd be kind of fun to look through the Facebook page, and find somebody to room with. So I stumbled across Ryan's profile, and immediately it seemed like it would work. You know, I saw pictures of an athlete, and I saw pictures of a man with a lot of friends, and a kid who enjoyed going out on the weekends with his buds. So all things I could appreciate. So I messaged him, and I introduced myself, and we chatted for a while, and eventually I asked him to be my roommate. He said, sure, let's do it, but we both agreed it'd be smart to meet in person before we made it official. So the summer leading up to freshman year, we met at my family's home in Tahoe. Steph was there, along with some of my friends and some of my family. Well, I had only known Ryan about an hour at this point, and he asked me if I would direct him to the bathroom. It seemed to be pretty urgent, so I took him downstairs and I showed him the way and left him to handle his business. Well, only a few minutes later, he came yelling up the stairs, "Colton, I need your help, buddy." I remember this day like it was yesterday. His face, he was panicked, so I dropped what I was doing. I ran down the hall to the bathroom where Ryan proceeded to show me the toilet that he had clogged. That was overflowing and flooding the bathroom floors. Nice first impression, Ryan. The mess was so avoidable too, but apparently he didn't know you could just shut off the water. So that's what I did. We then spent the next 15 minutes laughing hysterically while Ryan cleaned up the mess. As I'm sure you can imagine, Ryan was really embarrassed by this moment. I mean, he had just met me and my family about an hour before, but instead of telling him it was okay and he had nothing to worry about, we laughed at him and called him shitter all weekend. He took the criticism like a champ. Despite this unusual introduction, I, as well as the rest of my family there, immediately fell in love with him. He instantly felt comfortable with us, and we instantly felt comfortable around him. We quickly created a strong bond with Ryan, as I'm sure we all did the first time we met him. Anyways, after that weekend in Tahoe, and despite the whole bathroom situation, we decided we still wanted to live together, and we were really excited about it too. But only under one condition. We were to never share a bathroom. I'm so grateful for those 4 years living with him. There are so many stories to be told, but this story in particular is important to me because it was the first laugh of many that we shared together. Every day spent with Ryan was a total adventure. He was constantly entertaining us, whether he was dancing, which I'm sure you've heard he did a lot of, or screaming things aloud just because he liked to scream. He was always making us laugh. He lived every day in the moment, totally unscripted. He was quick and witty and always knew the right thing to say. When you needed him to be serious, he was serious for you. And when you needed a good laugh, he would always deliver. I'll forever cherish my friendship with him, and I'm going to miss him like crazy. He was truly, and I mean this, truly one of the best and most important people that ever come into my life. Thank you, Ryan, for some of the greatest memories. Love you, Zirkle.
Hello, everybody. As Colton introduced me, my name is Robbie Byers. As Ryan always called me, Bobber. I met Ryan our freshman year in Chico, and we ended up living together for 2 years while we were in college. What brings us all together today is the tragedy of a great person. Ryan was the life of the party, whether it was his thrilling dance moves, his positive vibes, or his classic bring the energy speeches. Ryan was smart, caring, respectful, and driven to be the best person he could be every day. Like many people in this room, this past week has been a roller coaster ride of emotions. But every time I'm down or depressed, I remember a memory with Ryan, and there's nothing to do but laugh and smile. If Ryan did not make it in law enforcement, I swear he would be an entertainer. He loved Eminem and could rap any Eminem verse ever created. One night last month in Lake Tahoe, Ryan set himself up to entertain his guests. He made everyone perform karaoke in the living room so he could be the final act and perfectly rap an Eminem song. He did just that. Living with him for 2 years, one of the best things that's ever happened to me. There's never a dull moment with Ryan. If the room was quiet, he would find something to say. If we were playing pickup basketball at the rec, Ryan was probably the best athlete on the court. If I really wanted in and out, Ryan was the first to volunteer to drive. Ryan was truly one of a kind. I couldn't have asked for a better friend. Ryan is and will always be the funniest person I've ever met. I have many memories with him, but one that sticks out in my mind and describes him perfectly goes like this. One afternoon playing golf at Bidwell Park in Chico with Colton, Sean, and myself, Ryan was getting ready to tee off alongside a hole alongside a road. As many golfers know, teeing off alongside a road always prevents the inevitable honking car or vulgar obscenities being yelled. So as Ryan was getting settled into his teed up golf ball, a passenger in a car driving by yells out, "Let the big dog eat!" as we all turned around to look at the car this came from, and before anyone could get a word or even a laugh out, Ryan immediately yelled back, "Will do, sir." He then proceeded to crush a drive with his Dan Ugla-inspired golf swing, where he would take a step with his front foot and finish with only one hand on the club. Somehow that swing works for him. Going forward without you seems impossible, and I'm sure every vacation or celebration, Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars or Don't Stop Me Now by Queen will be played in your honor. The amount of stories about you that will be told is endless, and that isn't just because you're funny. You're a great person, a great brother, and I'm sure many people in this room, me included, can call you a great friend. Ryan may be gone today, but he'll never be forgotten. There will forever be a hole in my life because of the memories that we'll never get to make. But as I conclude this speech, I'm going to reiterate something everyone already knows. Ryan loved everything about life, specifically his family, his friends, and Stephanie. And as we go through this rough time together, I wish nothing but smiles and laughs, because that's all Ryan ever made me do. Rest easy, big guy.
Thank you. If I can please have Ryan's brothers, Justin and Sean Zirkle, come up.
A lot of people. Well, I'm not the best public speaker, so I'm going to try and make this pretty quick. We're here to honor the memory of my little brother, Ryan, or as he's known to Melanie and my twin boys, Uncle Rai Rai. This is the hardest day of my life coming up here and trying to talk to all of you. Ryan was a wonderful person, and everyone that met him and everyone in this room knows that. He was one of a kind, making people laugh with his crazy dance moves and his hilarious impressions. My personal favorite was SpongeBob. He was pretty good at it. Ryan was an amazing uncle, and this may sound weird, but for some reason he named my twin boys Gary and Larry. It was Big Gary and Little Larry. He even showed up on the day they were born with a dress shirt and slacks. And I asked him, I was like, "Were you at court that day?" And he goes, "Nope, just got to make a good impression for the twins." And that's the kind of guy Ryan was. He would stop by the house at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning as I'm getting ready for work. He would just get off a graveyard shift. And he would stop by just to say hi to Gary and Larry and get a big spoon of peanut butter and a big glass of milk. I don't know why, that was his favorite. Ryan was the best little brother I could ask for. Sean's the best big brother.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Ryan was great at giving advice, and I wasn't great at taking it. He was the best brother I could have hoped for, and being a young dad, I was always scared, and he was always there to encourage me and to help guide me. He was the best person I ever knew, and I'm going to miss him so much. Please look after Larry and Gary for me, Ryan, and I'll tell them all the stories about their fun Uncle Rai Rai. I love you, and I'll miss you forever. I love you, man.
Hello. Thank you for being here to support and honor my brother Ryan. My name is Sean Zirkle. I am Ryan's oldest brother. As most of you know, Ryan was a great person, and by every definition of the word great. He was a star athlete, an outstanding student, an amazing friend, brother, and partner. I'm going to take you back to his gymnastics days. Ryan was a top 50 gymnast for his age group, and his gymnast career took my family and I to San Diego, Las Vegas, Hawaii, and Arizona, to name a few places. And it all started because he saw my dad do a headstand when we were at the house in Lake Tahoe. Growing up with this kind of athletic training, you'd expect him to have a strict diet. That could not have been farther from the truth. This guy would eat a hot dog and a banana every dinner for 3 years straight. I did some quick math, and Ryan had consumed close to 1,000 hot dogs in a 3-year period. My mom would make the most delicious dinners for the rest of the family, but Ryan had his own agenda. Let's not forget his favorite dessert, ranch sunflower seeds and a glass of milk right before bed. Maybe he knew something we did not know about the best diet. When Ryan was 15 years old, I had the honor of coaching his baseball team when he played for the Bandits with some of his best friends who are here today. The Bandits were not a little league team. It was a team of competitive 15-year-old boys, and I had to treat them like young adults. So much so that I took Ryan out of a game for poor performance, and he cried uncontrollably. The brother in me felt bad. You know, you never want to see your family member that upset, but I wanted to win no matter what. I will always remember my mom coming up to the dugout to console Ryan, and she just stared at me. I could tell she was pissed. But we won the game, so it was worth it. Eventually, we weren't under the same roof anymore. I went to college, and then he went up to college at Butte and Chico. My wife and I moved further and further south, and Ryan stayed in Marin. He truly wanted to work and live in the community he loved. Although the physical distance grew larger, we never stopped being best friends. When Ryan told me he wanted to become a police officer, I was more proud of him than I ever had been before, and he gave me a lot of reasons to be proud up until that point. We developed a new bond. We would talk in a secret language to one another that only police officers would understand. For example, last night I was working an interrupted 459 and we caught the suspect. The police officers in this room know what I'm talking about, and the rest are clueless. We share stories from our shifts every day. If he was driving to work and I was driving home, we would talk the whole way about anything and everything. It always started with him answering the phone in typical Ryan fashion, an outrageous lyric from an Eminem song, or a classic inside joke, "I saw it." I will always cherish these memories and miss his phone calls. When Ryan and Stephanie bought their house in Petaluma, it really inspired my wife, Kate, and I to get serious about establishing our roots as a family. We knew we wanted to be back in the North Bay, but we weren't expecting to find a house less than a block away from them. When our offer was accepted, Ryan and Stephanie would walk their dog Dexter by our house to send us pictures. Ryan was so excited about us being that close that he timed the drive from driveway to driveway, and it only took 51 seconds. Although we won't have the memories of milestones the four of us would talk about, I'm lucky to have been his neighbor for the 2 weeks we have been up there. My last few moments with Ryan will always put a smile on my face, painting the interior of my house, picking up appliances, planning landscaping, breaking my garage door, eating wings, and drinking some tasty beer. Ryan may have been my youngest brother, but I looked up to him for obvious reasons. The love he showed for his family, Stephanie, and his lifelong friends is admirable. He had it all. He may have lived a short life, but he lived a life full of love and happiness. He had energy that anyone working the night shift would think is impossible, and he never dwelled on a bad day. I think at most he had a bad hour, and he could channel positivity into any situation. On our last phone call during our drives to and from work, we realized we were about to pass each other going opposite ways in one-on-one traffic. He asked where I was, and I told him to look for me waving my hand out the window like this. We had a very odd humor relationship. Once he saw me, he yelled, "Wait, is that you? I see you!" And he pointed at me, and I pointed at him, and we had a good laugh. It just goes to show how lighthearted he was. It didn't matter what he was doing or where he was always having fun. We will all miss you, Ryan, but we're all better people for knowing you. He will give us the courage to face the days ahead, and our memories will be forever in our hearts. He was one of a kind and cannot be replaced. I love you, Ryan, and you will always be in my heart. Now, for those of you that don't know Ryan, a moment of silence would not be his style. Instead, we're going to do a moment of roar so Ryan can hear us. I need all of you to stand up. And I need you to clap, cheer, yell, holler, root, or whatever you want to do. Just be as loud as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if there are things you need to borrow, for no one can fill all of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there's a load you have to bear that you can't carry, I'm right up the road. I'll share your load if you just call me, call me, call me, call me, call me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Now the Sheriff's Office Honor Guard will prepare the flag for presentation. Next will be the end of watch radio call. After that, I invite everyone to step outside for a 21-gun salute, the playing of taps, and a helicopter flyover. I would request all uniformed personnel to form up outside as you were this morning. Please allow the Marin Sheriff's Office uniformed personnel to leave first. After they have left, all other attendees can exit the auditorium. The non-uniformed guests here, please look for the search and rescue personnel outside. They will direct you toward the stage. After the outside ceremony has concluded, the Marin County Deputy Sheriff's Association would like to invite all of you to the exhibit hall, which is next door behind us here, for a hosted reception.
On Lincoln 784, Control 1. 1 Lincoln 784, Control 1. This is a final call for Deputy Ryan Zirkle, 1 Lincoln 784. Deputy Zirkle lost his life tragically on March 15, 2018 while responding to a call for his community. Deputy Zirkle gave himself while serving his community with courage and valor. Deputy Zirkle, the men and women of the Marin County Sheriff's Office are forever grateful and proud to have served with you. We will never forget your ultimate sacrifice. To Stephanie and the Zirkle family, you are now our family, and with that, you will never stand alone in your grief. Deputy Zirkle, end of watch, March 15, 2018. May you rest in peace. 1 Lincoln 784, you are clear for 10-7 OD. 1 Lincoln 784, Control 1.